Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have one of my favorite videos since starting YouTube, and that is my 2024 favorites video from everything that I've purchased just in this year. So I first want to go through all of my favorites that I put in my 2023 favorites video. So if you are new to my channel, you can check that out here in this little video card. And a lot of these things are still my favorites. So let's go and take a look at what I put last year. Getting my other phone. And if you're new here, welcome. This is my cozy journaling corner. And I'm so happy to be getting to do another one of these videos. It is my second solid year of being in this hobby. I've been a long time journaler, but this is the first time where I'm really diving into the Instagram community and, quite frankly, shopping a lot for this hobby. You don't have to shop a lot to be in this hobby, but there are so many great small businesses and so much more stationery that I didn't know about until discovering the journaling community on social media. So a rapid fire round of what I put on my stationery favorites last year. Under stationery tools, I said Kikuyo glue, still love it. AdTech glue tape, still use that and the refills. Midori index clips, Uniball 1P, Muji gel 0.38, and Pentel Sign brush pens. Out of that list, the Pentel Sign brush pens, still love them, and I actually bought more colors of them. The gel pens, I don't really use them. I'm like exclusively fountain pens now. So I had some rubber stamp favorites, and a lot of these, just in general, I haven't used in 2024 so much. I've really barely touched my stamp collection, and I've barely added to it. And then let's see, clickable stamps, still a favorite, love those. So for stationery deco, I said All the Flowers Ours pet tape, Twilight from Payan, a Mr. Eggplant's washi tape, Filipino food stickers, and of course coffee things. And then I got into my favorite tote bag, my favorite paper, MD One Day One Page planner book, the Euroliku 3 pen case, Passport Traveler's notebook, fountain pens and fountain pen inks such as Diamond Earl Grey and Sailor Hana Gokuro. So I'm just kind of refreshing with myself here for the first time what was on my list from 2023 favorites, and it's really interesting to see what's on here, what I haven't actually touched all of 2024, and what has changed since then. Everything I still really love. It's just that a lot of my journaling habits have changed in 2024. So let's see how my favorites have changed. So the first thing, and my list for 2024 is in no particular order. The first thing is going to be this Nahe, I don't know how you pronounce it, Nahe High Tide case. This is in the color brown. This size is the wide size, and I really love this because it, first of all, is see-through, and I love that you are able to see what's inside of it. There are some that are completely opaque, and I'm the kind of person that if I can't see what's inside, I'm going to forget. And in here, I have washi sample cards. This, I guess you could consider, is another favorite, although I have been using washi sample cards since 2023, and this isn't new by any means to my journal collection and system this year. I got this case to actually store photos that I was going to put and place in my A6 photo a day journal, and I just couldn't fit the full photo print, the 4x6 photo print. So I would have to cut them up and place them in here, and I found that if I was cutting them up, then I was going to paste them directly into my journal. So I started putting my seasonal washi cards in here. It started around the end of summer, and it was really helpful for me to just focus on what washi tapes fit, because my current washi collection all resides in a Toyo T190, I believe, or this might be T192. There's a new size. I can't remember if it's 92 or the 90, but anyways, this is your standard Toyo box that a lot of retailers sell. This size can hold a bunch of washi card samples, and I really love that. So I can fit every washi card sample I have in here, and this is a great way for me to just limit my washi cards. But when I got this case, I started putting my summer washies, because I have everything in here from florals to fall washies to winter. So I started using it as my seasonal washi storage, and I really liked it. It's such a great size for it, and it has a back pocket here. This card actually came with the case to keep its shape, and I've since left it in here because I really actually do like it to keep it sturdy in the back. And then it's got two clear pockets on the inside, and then the major compartment here. There is a gusset in the bottom, so it does hold a fair amount, giving that it's not, you know, just one seam here. It can actually bulk up, and that has helped to carry so many of my washies that I carry around. And that way I don't have to go digging in my Toyo every single time that I want to decorate. I actually use my washi samples a lot more given this case, and it helps limit myself during the seasons, during the different times of year, so that I'm actually intentional in the washies that I'm selecting to use for my stash. And this has been really helpful because I actually am going through my washies now because of it. So one of my favorite purchases, I definitely have been wanting to go back to High Tide so I could purchase the other sizes, because my intention didn't work out of storing my cut up photos for my photo a day. I found that what I actually really need is a place to store my 4x6 photos. And this technically isn't in my favorites, but it's such a great thing to have. And it's actually the Hobonichi A6 cover that was released for the 2025 year. And you would put your Hobonichi A6 in here. Mine is way too chunky, but it does fit in here, surprisingly, with how bulky my A6 is. And I just love that it follows the same look of this clear acrylic case. So my Hobonichi does actually fit in here, and for a time I was using it to have my Hobonichi as well as the photos in here in this front pocket. A 4x6 print fits in here really, really well, and I can close it barely. It does close with a little bit of force, but there it does fit. But I've stopped using this to hold my Hobonichi because it's starting to push in these edges here. But for a brand new Hobonichi A6, it actually fits really nicely. So here, just to show you. So this is a unofficial favorite because I could see myself really loving this for 2025. I just haven't used it enough for 2024. With a brand new Hobonichi, there is a lot of room, but as you use the pages and they start to fluff, even if you're not filling them, the pages do fluff a little bit, and this case is really nice. So I intend to one day, when I'm placing an order with High Tide, go back and get the A6 version of the Nahe case, because I really enjoyed using this cover as if it were a case. And so that's why these kind of go hand in hand, because I know that I could really use a A6 size case. Whereas this is more of a cover, it'd be really, you know, there's just way too much fabric to pretend and use it as a file folder. It's just way too floppy for that. But I do like that there's a back pocket here. So this really, really reminds me of this Nahe case. And this is probably why I purchased this from Hobonichi. So putting that away now and getting into the next case, very similar vibes. It is actually from Kingjim, and it is an A5 case. So Kingjim reached out to me to gift me some items, and I actually selected their A6 case, but they were out of stock, and I think they actually told me that they were no longer making the A6 size, but keeping the A5 size. So they sent me the A5 in replacement. I was a little sad about it because I didn't think I needed an A5 size, but I have loved it so much. So I have been using it to hold my seasonal deco. In it right now is my Christmas items, but before, just a few days before, I had all of my winter items. Winter sticker sheets. In the back I had skinnier sticker sheets because they're still completely covered here. And now I've switched over to fit my stamps, and it also has a gusseted bottom, so you can fit wider items. Like if you wanted to fit a notebook, you could fully fit an A5 notebook in here. That's actually how Kingjim advertised it, but you could see how thick these blocks of stamps are, and they fit really, really well. So I want to move in these washies in here, but I haven't cleaned this out yet. In the Nahe case is still my fall and Halloween washies. These are my winter washies. I don't have that many, so I will be picking out some more neutral washies to fit for my winter season to then later go in the Nahe case. But I guess technically I don't have to do that. I could keep everything in this bigger A5 case. There are two pockets on the inside. This smaller pocket is just wide enough to fit these washi samples. Just like that. And then I have, there's actually a bigger pocket here in the back. And this actually could probably fit a 4x6 print here in this back pocket. And then on the outside, like I showed before, is that other pocket. I've got a sticker stuck on the inside of this. But I've really enjoyed this case, and I'm really happy to have an A5 size. I honestly would not have purchased it for myself, but I was really lucky to have been gifted this and be able to try it, and now it is one of my favorites, and I'm surprised that an A5 anything made its way into my 2024 favorites, because this year and end of last year was where I really discovered that I loved the A6 size. So that is favorite number 2. I guess we're continuing into pouches. I must have been thinking of pouches when I was formulating my list, because the next one is the Delfonics pouch. I have a, let's see, polyester medium Delfonics pouch. This is in the color brown, and I have been using it to store my sticker sheets all year. I've just recently kind of gone through it for a journal hangout that I was doing with my cousin, and so it's not really in its usual setup, but a favorite nonetheless. I really love the material of this. I know that most really go for the canvas. I wanted something that was a lot lighter, and when I came across this at the Delfonics store in Paris, I just fell in love with it right away, obviously because it's brown, but I was really surprised that I didn't mind that I wasn't picking up a canvas one. I think that's probably why I had held off on buying a Delfonics for so long, is because of the canvas fabric and how heavy it gets trying to carry items. I honestly didn't even have any use for a Delfonics pouch, but when I saw this, I had to pick it up. And then about a month later, I went on my Japan trip and bought so many stickers. I didn't have anywhere to store my stickers, and this Delfonics pouch was the perfect place. This Delfonics pouch can fit a full TN, and I believe an A5, I'm not sure, but this paper book is a B6 size, and this is also a sticker book with Paper Society Co. in the Philippines. So like I said, I store all of my sticker sheets in here. I don't have one of those binder files. I've been meaning to, it's just that this has been working for me so far, so I've been putting off the need of buying any more organization things when I can just use what I have here. I really enjoy the pockets. I actually store my acrylic stamps in here. Like I said, I've kind of since then emptied how it's usually been all year. So this isn't exactly accurate to what has been in here all year round, but this pouch is great for so many uses. I do have one pen in here. In the back, I have my Pentel brush sign pens, but there are so many compartments. I really like this Velcro pouch here in case you have something bigger that you want to make sure not fall out, because I kind of worry about that with these pouches, but honestly, I don't travel with this a lot. It just stays home. For a time, I had this actually displayed up on my desk, thinking that, you know, if it's on my desk, I'll use my stickers more. But again, kind of connecting back to those Nahe pouches, they're see-through, so I can see what's inside and it reminds me to use them, whereas this is not see-through, and I forget all the time that I have all these sticker sheets. But a lot of these sticker sheets are related to food, so that's when I remember to get the stickers out, is when I'm doing a food journaling spread. Anyways, love this pouch. Got this in January, so I kind of forgot that it belongs in a 2024 favorites video, because I almost consider this as something that I purchased last year. So again, for 2024 favorites, the criteria for me is that I had to have purchased it in 2024 and just either use it enough to get its money's worth, or have really enjoyed it, or just really excited to use it and maybe haven't had the time yet. This has definitely gotten a lot of use. I can't imagine storing my stickers in any other way except those sticker binders, but I would need at least 4 of those to store all the amount of stickers that can fit in this pouch. So favorite number 3. Favorite number 4, we're still going strong with pouches. This time is a fountain pen pouch, and this is a Hurlestone New Zealand pouch, handmade, and it uses upholstery fabric for the outer and velvet mink fabric on the inside, and I absolutely love this. You can choose any of the combinations that she has on her website. My favorite part about this is just how affordable it is for the amazing quality, amazing quality and craftsmanship of this pouch. This is the 6-pen Wonder Pouch. There are 6 individual pen slots, but it can hold so much more. I am able to fit 2 more pens here and 2 more pens here. Let me actually fill it up for you. So I usually put my 2 Twisbees in the middle, and all the pockets are filled with sailors. So let's just very quickly pop these in here. Even with the New Zealand overseas shipping, it was so affordable. I can't remember the exact price now, but for sure it was under $75 for this pouch, and I thought that was such a steal. She is also very accommodating. I am blanking out on her name right now, but I usually put my 2 Twisbees here because I don't mind if they actually end up touching and rubbing against each other. And then I usually put my 2 platinums here in this front section. And just with the fullness of the pouch, the platinums don't usually come around to touching each other. There's a little more space for the Twisbees to actually come into contact, but generally when it's full like this, none of the pens touch. And I love that so much. I love that I can carry around so many inked pens, and I really do have this many inked pens usually. So I kind of limit myself to 10 pens inked at once because that's as much as I can fit in this wonder pouch. I'm so happy with this. I will leave my fabric choice. I believe it's Cottage Garden or something along the lines of that. And then the inside is this very beautiful neutral kind of gray, a warm gray mink fabric. Very happy with this. And I believe that is it for pouches. Since we are in the topic of fountain pens now, let me go ahead and talk about my fountain pen favorites. So my favorite pen this year is, oddly enough, not a Sailor. It is one of my platinums, and the platinum that I acquired this year is this Tortoise Celluloid. I am absolutely over the moon for it. This is my most recent pen purchase, and it says a lot that I haven't purchased a pen for several months now, actually, because of this. The next pen I did buy is actually another platinum. It is the Coffee Jelly pen that is releasing mid-December. So this one is actually a 18 karat gold nib. It is a vintage, if you want to call anything from before the 90s vintage. So I'm just so happy that I was able to find this. I was in absolute shock when I came across this over eBay. And it writes like a dream. Love the softness of the 18K. It's still a little hard, definitely harder than the soft Sailor nibs, but it is much softer than Platinum's standard nibs. Continuing into fountain pens, my favorite has been getting into nib grinds. So my first nib grind is actually this TWSBI Architect. I was stuck between Architect and Cursive Smooth Italic, and I actually hesitated and ordered an Architect nib from Kreates when I really wanted a Cursive Smooth Italic. So the minute that there was another TWSBI, I ordered the Cursive Smooth Italic, and I love this thing. I went back to purchasing TWSBIs this year, and I absolutely love this Cafe Crema that they released with the bronze hardware. It is just so beautiful. I have it in a fine nib with a Cursive Smooth Italic grind from Kreates, and man, did that just launch me into the rabbit hole of nib grinds. I loved the Cursive Smooth Italic so much that I got my first gold nib grinded down, and it is the Matcha Wancher pen. I also got this ground from Kreates. This nib is a medium, so the Cursive Smooth Italic is just really nice and juicy. Wancher runs a little dry, but I did get it to write a little bit wetter from Kreates, and so it is just so nice to have some flair in the writing experience from nib grinds, and I am so happy with it. I would love to get more Cursive Smooth Italics, but now that I have two, technically three, I think I should stop there. And I say technically three because my other favorite that I discovered this year is the Imperial grind. I learned about it at the San Francisco Pen Show, and also done by Kreates on the San Francisco Special Edition nib that Pen Realm sells. So this is an Imperial. It is a Cursive Smooth Italic on the front and almost like a standard nib on the reverse, but thicker. So this is a fine nib. The reverse kind of writes like a medium nib, not with any flair, just your standard nib, but the front is the Cursive Smooth Italic. And I really love that because I love that I love taking advantage of the reverse side, which I had never really thought of before, because the more you add to a nib grind, the more expensive it gets. But I think it's well worth the price because you get two writing edges on one nib, and you don't have to buy a whole nother pen for it. So I'm really happy for this. I don't think I would ever get a cursive smooth italic, like just a cursive smooth italic on a nib anymore. I think I would continue to get imperial grinds and just pay that little bit of an extra cost so that the reverse is usable and getting like 2 nibs in one. So that is a great thing that I learned this year, and I'm so happy with it. Nib grinds is definitely where my fountain pen game has been heading into. So my next favorite is still related to fountain pens, and it's actually this art box. I am so in love with this art box here, and I was on the hunt for a really long time. I thought I was going to purchase the Toyoko Craft box from the SF Pen Show, but it is so pricey to even just hold 40 pens, and I think I have upwards of 20. So let's go ahead and put these pens back and just kind of show how wonderful this is. So this actually came with dividers, just like this. I decided to put the 2 dividers at the bottom, and then that left the 2 ones up top completely bare and empty. I purchased the pen trays off of Go Pens. I actually accidentally ordered the blue. I meant to order the gray and was very, very shocked when the blue came in. But now that I have it, I really love the blue. I think it helps to make my pen stand out, especially because I don't buy blue pens. I only have one blue pen. Most of my pens are green and brown and neutral. So it has 4 drawers. Each drawer is the same height, and that's what I really love, because when I was looking up other art boxes, it was really hard to find one that could fit the fountain pen tray and enough clearance for the fountain pen. So I'm really happy with this one. I will, as usual, leave everything in the description box below with the links and the names of everything. But this is where I put my ink samples now. My ink samples used to just sit in a small drawer that was attached to my desk, but I didn't want to use my drawer space for ink samples. I wanted to use it for more things that I reach for daily. And so this was a great place to actually put my ink samples now. I can see what the sample color looks like. Everything's labeled. I have it kind of grouped by color section. This one up here is actually all my browns, and I have so much space left. I've got my syringes for ink samples, and then this second one is actually pretty empty. I have so much space. It's just kind of overflow of my pens, but this top one are my precious ones. So let me put these pens back. So this drawer is really, really big, and I love that so much because I can hold so many of my pens. I'm just going to take my ruler here and get everything lined up. But I love that I can see all of my pens that I really love. I can't believe I'm starting to get into an overflow row. When I accumulate enough pens that everything really has to sit divided into the 2 drawers, I don't know if I'll do it by color or by brand, but this just brings me so much joy to see. Like, how beautiful is that? I love all my pens. I really, really do want to slow down in purchasing pens. You can see my color scheme here. I've got so many greens. I did not realize how fast my green collection was going to grow this year. I think 2024 was the year of my browns, and 2023. 2023 was the year of my browns. 2024 is the year of my greens. We'll see what 2025 brings. I want to bring in more color. I have yet to own a lavender pen. I really want a dusty lavender so that I could use lavender inks. That is just my issue, is that I want to match ink to pen bodies, and I can only write with so many different shades of brown and different shades of green, so I do need to venture out. I love that I have a pink. I'm very happy with my pink and blue. I don't think I need any other pink or blues in my collection. I love that the blue has a rhodium trim. I do have another rhodium trim, and that's with the green. There is a slight blue in there, so it's like I feel like I'm covered with blue, especially the kinds of blue ink that I like. I love all shades of green. I love all shades of brown, hence why I have so many. I really only like one shade of color, and it's muted tones. So a muted yellow, a muted blue, a muted pink, a muted lavender, purple, which is why I would hope to one day add a purple into my collection, but I'm not in a rush, and I think that's a great place for me to be in my fountain pen collection, because for a time, I think I was scavenging through the internet to try and find a purple, and I realized I didn't need it yet. I don't have to find it right away just because I had the idea and the want and thought for it. I can wait until that purple comes into my collection when it does. So really happy with my collection. I'm realizing now that I didn't write this in my notes, but this is absolutely a favorite of mine this year. This is my first ever glass dip pen, and it is by Jerjertu. It is coffee beans inside, glass coffee beans. Absolutely love the little clinks that they make as I use it. I love that the back end is usable for me to swatch, and then on the front here is the nib, and I opted for the one with some color. And man, this thing is just so beautiful. It just makes me want to do some ink swatches just so I could use it. I mean, I could definitely write with it. I love the fineness of the tip. I do prefer my nibs to be fine, medium fine, and I think I get that with this nib, and definitely a favorite from this year. So I love that I can store my Toyo box. I've got my TNs in it. I put this Galen leather pen rest on here for when I'm actually actively using a pen and maybe I'm just switching colors or want to put something away really quickly. I leave it up there. In this view here, I have my desk trash can, and that is actually another favorites of mine on my list. Here is my list. Unfortunately, this isn't something that you could buy easily. I haven't seen anyone make this to sell yet, but my dear friend Eileen gave this to me when we met at the San Francisco Pen Show. She 3D printed this with her husband, so thank you so much to him as well. And I love this desk trash can so much because you know I love coffee. The sleeve is even removable, and I have every intention to design my own fictional coffee shop sticker to one day put on here. I just haven't thought of it yet. I don't have any clue to what my fictional coffee shop should be named, but I really do love this trash can, and just holding it like this right now is just like, I love coffee. I need to actually get my coffee from downstairs. The lid is turnable, you know what I mean. You could take it off as well to just use it like that. But if you have a 3D printer yourself, you could definitely buy the blueprints to be able to make this. And I'm just so happy with owning this now. I was actually concerned with when I received it from her, because how on earth was this going to fit in my luggage with all of the purchases I had made from the San Francisco Pen Show, but it was a priority to bring this. And it actually turned out to be a great place to store the inks that I had bought from the pen show and keep them safe during transit on my flight back. So anyways, sorry, not sorry to add this into my 2024 favorites, but hopefully maybe I can find something similar to this for you and link it in the description. Okay, we are getting into the deco portion now. It is actually very short compared to my 2024 favorites list. And that's just because I've been really all over the place with my deco. I have way too much stuff from my 2023 shopping and discovering of shops. And so I didn't really buy all that much in 2024. In fact, I actually just did a lot of Happy Meal trades and got a lot of pet tape that way. But one that I did purchase and really, really love are my pet tape girls. And this year, I really enjoyed purchasing DingDing and Kreates girls. So I think I bought about 2 or 3 loops, and what I love about DingDing is how many girls you get in a loop. So many, oh my goodness. I actually had these back pages completely filled, and you can see all the little sparse areas now from me actually using them. I will open up a few of my favorite spreads to show you how I use these girls, but I love that they are rather large and vertical because it fits a TN spread really, really well. It also fits in an A6 size really well to take up a lot of space on days that I just don't have much to write. So I've got about 3 or 4 pages here of just DingDing girls, and I really love them. I love the watercolor style of illustration. I love the way that they are colored in, not to mention the fashion. It is just my kind of fashion, and I would love to be able to own the types of clothes that these girls have. I also just personally resonate with some of the girls in the illustrations. I personally appreciate that there are some Asian characteristics to these girls and the darker hair to be like mine, and I'm a kind of person that when I use a pet tape girl, I need to kind of see myself in that girl or in the way that I'm decorating. So definitely one of my top favorites in terms of PET tape this year is from DingDing. So let me show you how I've used it in a few spreads. I know I have some in my stationery girl spreads, my stationery meetup spreads. So there was one that I was so happy to buy, and it's because it was like a besties pet tape roll. So it was really great for those spreads that I have when I meet people. Here's another one. And I put 2 here. I'm especially fond of the pet tape illustrations when the face is hidden, and I think it's just because sometimes they don't always look like you. Sometimes you want to use it for a specific reason and don't want to have the illustration of the face. So I actually really like it when it's just like the back of the head or the side profile. I find that I use those girls up the fastest. So that is an example of some of the ways I've used the DingDing girls. I think I have a few more examples in this TN as well from my beverage journal. Here's one that I really like and kind of matched the decoration too. I think that's it in this cafe journal. The other girls that I've really enjoyed using are Kreates. She is a Filipino illustrator, again, someone that I can kind of see myself when using the illustrations. And I actually don't know if I have very many in here, but I did buy a full roll of one of her tapes. So here's a few examples. Ignore these top 2 ones, those are wintry, but these 3 down here is part of the, I think, Journal Time pet tape roll. But I have quite a few samples of Kreates. The one that I have a full roll is a foodie one, and there's one that I purchased multiple samples of, and it's one related to motherhood. So this one is self-care, I believe, and just so many beautiful illustrations and moments of these girls to use. But this foodie one, I knew I needed a full roll of because everything just resonated to me on here. Pasta day, morning breakfast, treat yourself, Coca-Cola, good food. There's Korean barbecue, eating ice cream, having tea time, extra rice. So I just really loved this pet tape loop, or not a loop. Well, yes, this loop is so long, and I love that there's so many illustrations to it. I rarely buy full rolls of pet tape, but this was one I could not skip out on. So I really love Cat Kreates. Let's see where I used it. I used it a lot in the beginning of the year with my TN spreads in the monthly one. Oh, here's another example of DingDing Girls, and then I think the next month I used Cat Kreates. So you can see, even in just these 2 months, that I really loved to use them, and definitely my favorite girls for this year. Another favorite pet tape that I discovered during the San Francisco Pen Show is from this illustrator. I think it's called Rice Forever. This illustrator, I thought I was going to find the name here, but this illustrator has a series called Sky Coffee, and it has to do with capybara and ducks, and it is so cute. I love this illustration style. This is the part where I get really into cutesy illustrations, and this capybara and ducks really won me over when I saw them at the SF Pen Show. And I'm so in love with this illustrator now that I really want to buy their duck plushie. That's something that I kind of got into for 2024, is collecting illustrator plushies. So I've got a cat do plushie. I'm going to get those out now. It all kind of started with, you know, the Manual Factory bear, the unofficial TN bear. And then I got the cat do cat. And then I got the Yamadoro bird. So I can't pick a favorite between the three. That's a lie. I do have a favorite. My favorite is the bird from Yamadoro. It is just so adorable, this little top hat. I love how tiny it is. I love that it came as a keychain. The cat do one just came with the beaded chain here. This one came with the clip. But I would really, really love to add to my collection the duck from the capybara and ducks. I kind of wish that they had a capybara with a little duck on it. Another reason I love the duck is it's got a little sailor scarf, and it reminds me of my husband since he is a sailor in the Navy. But yeah, I think that will be my next little illustrator mascot addition, hopefully. So I guess, yeah, this has been like a favorite for me in 2024, is kind of collecting these illustrator mascots. All right, moving right along, getting back into some accessories and bags. First thing I want to talk about is this pouch. I guess we're going back to pouches, but this is the Superior Labor Utility Pouch in the color green, and I love this so much. I was actually hunting for this colorway for nearly 2 years, and I am so lucky that a friend saw it just in time on eBay and sent me the link, and I purchased it right away. Honestly, I purchased it without even checking the condition because I had been wanting the green version of this utility case for so long. I joined the online journaling community and learning about Travelers Company and the Superior Labor right after this release, and everything was sold out already. So it just really passed me by, and I really never thought I was going to be able to get my hands on this, and this is definitely one of my favorite, top favorite purchases and acquisitions of 2024. I love it so much. I've used it in several different ways, but the way that's really stuck right now is to use to put all my tools on this left pouch. I've got my glue stick, my scissors, my glue tape. I've got several Travelers Company clips here and other tools, brass ruler, tweezers, everything. And I really love how much this can fit. I love that I can lay things a certain way to still kind of protect the way that the outer leather feels. There is enough space that I can even still fit something in the middle between the two compartments that are in here. And on the right side, I keep my Pentel brush pens. Right now I kind of have it situated for more brighter colors, but usually I just keep the neutral ones in here. Another way that I like to use this is to empty this out actually and use the Galen leather 4-pen sleeve. When I go out for cafe journaling, I will put 4 fountain pens in here and place it in this sleeve just like this. Sometimes I don't even use the sleeve. I will keep my Pentel signed brush pens in here. And then let me put in a fountain pens for demonstration purposes. But I will use the flap of the compartment on the right side to protect the journal clips, or pen clips, excuse me. So I will place it in like this, use this flap to cover here, and then this is closed up, and I kind of just make sure nothing is really poking out in a certain way to compress too hard on the pens. But there is actually just so much space in here to fit this comfortably, and nothing is bulging out on either direction. I can actually still just physically feel that there is still space between everything, so it's not super compressed. And I just make sure that when I do put this in my bag, nothing is in there to add weight on top to really compress on my fountain pens. But yeah, this is a very common way that I actually use this utility case, and I love that this sleeve can actually fit in this pocket. So another favorite of mine is actually in here, and it is these 2 clips, the Starbucks Reserve Roastery and my newly acquired Road Trip clip. Absolute favorites of this year. Just love the design. Of course, I love coffee. I was able to pick this up myself in person at the Starbucks Reserve Roastery in Tokyo, Japan, and that just makes it that much more special to me. And then this one was a pop-up event, the first pop-up event that I was able to attend in the US, specifically in California at the Long Beach pop-up, and another like amazing memory of mine this year, and so I love this clip so much. Travelers Company does not make a lot of designs for clips, so I just think that this is just really such a special item to have and to own. So I'm really happy to have that in my collection, and definitely one of my favorites that I acquired this year. Sticking to the topic of the superior labor, I have my analog bag that I love so much. This is the khaki with natural leather combination. I purchased this from Baumkuchen, and Baumkuchen has a special size with superior labor. It's called the Analogue Bag, and it is bigger than the petite but smaller than their extra small engineer. It does not come with the shoulder strap, but it does have D-rings if you wish to purchase the shoulder strap separately and add it yourself. But I have been using this to store my items that I reach for often. So I actually fit in here the A5 Kingjim case. my Superior Labor utility pouch, my Nahe wide case, and then my sticker release inserts here. And this is usually how it sits and lays. And when I'm ready to journal, I'm pretty much grabbing these at any given time. And when I travel outside of the house, I just grab this and go with whatever journal, usually my Hobonichi, and this can fit in here comfortably as well. I just move this over to the other side, and then I fit my journal in here, and it fits really well. I can even use the zipper if I wanted to, but I like to leave it open and see everything. And yeah, this is how I store it. So one thing that I have yet to do that I have been meaning to is to make a strap for this analog bag. And what I did was actually purchase a La Dolce Vita luggage bag strap. So I plan to kind of break these off and buy a gold or brass hardware to match the analog bag and reconfigure the strap so I can use it as a handle bag strap. And I just love that it stays stationery related. I think this would be such a cool strap to add to this bag when I go out for journal dates and stationery meetups. So that is a project that I have. It kind of has this canvas look to it to match, but I'm really excited for this project. I hope it turns out well, because I am going to have to, I think, open this up and maybe resew, unless I can find clips that I can open and close, because these ones, the plastic ones, I would have to break off, and I do not want to use this as to go with the analog bag somehow. But that is my project for my beloved analog bag that I love so much, and one of the best purchases this year by far. We are reaching the end of my favorites video. Some of the last few things I have on my list here are my plotters. And while I do love my plotters, I wouldn't exactly classify them as being a favorite, because I just haven't used them all that much to really say that the plotter system, you know, gets a spot on my 2024 favorites, though I do love these so much in terms of aesthetic, the feel, the functionality of them. But what I do want to say is on my 2024 favorites is plotter paper. Oh my goodness, the plotter paper is so beautiful. It is so smooth. I love writing on it with fountain pen. I got a lot of my plotter paper from friends who were sending me samples, and I loved it so much that I went out and bought plain memo pad refill and then the 2025 calendar. So I use my plotters for home management items. So my finance journal, my homeschool journal for my kids, planning, homeschooling, and Bible study notes as well. So that's why I purchased more for 2025, and I'm really excited to see how plotter fits more into my lineup for 2025. So stay tuned for that next year, but definitely had to add it into my 2024 favorites because the paper is divine. I love it so much. I wish they could come out with a whole notebook that was plotter D paper, so that I could just keep writing in it. Maybe I just need to buy more refills so I could enjoy writing in it. Okay, and the very last thing on my 2024 favorites is my newly acquired Instax. I got this in the last quarter of the year, and I've used it so much. I've used it a lot for actually not journaling. I use it a lot to add a photo to the back of my phone case, and I change it out quite frequently because I take so many photos already because of my photo a day journal that I love being able to decorate with photos in other aspects of my life, like pictures on the fridge, pictures on my phone case, and then I will use the Instax photos in my journals for very, very special moments and occasions. But I have enjoyed using this. I am adding it in my 2024 favorites because I got it with the intention to use for stationery and my journaling hobby. It's just fun to be able to use it in other aspects of my life as well. So I have the Instax link too, I believe, and the two sheets that I've really enjoyed using is the Instax photo slide and the Instax contact sheet. So the photo slide is this white version. I love that it has a very old school film camera vibe, or just a camera vibe in general. And then the same thing with the black version. The black version almost reminds me of like an old school camcorder, those VHS camcorders. So I really love the look of these photo sheets, and I think that's what makes me use my Instax more than just the blank white ones. So that is the last item on my 2024 favorites list. Some honorable mentions that I still have rolled over from 2023 and I don't think I'm going to stop using anytime soon are my stationery tools, like my AdTech glue runner, my glue GLOO from Kokuyo stick, my Canon selfie. Oh my goodness, that, if it could win a prize for stationery item of the year for me, it would be that. And it is such a workhorse. I print so many photos a week to put into my photo a day journal, into my coffee journal, my stationery journal, all my projects. I use that Canon selfie like no other tool in my collection. So if I could give my Canon selfie 1500 a prize, it would get the all-time favorite stationery item award. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and hearing what has been my 2024 favorites. In doing this video, I realized I've acquired some things that I actually didn't turn out to be what I thought. So I hope you stay tuned and subscribe to my channel, because I will be making a not what I expected stationery items video. So I would love to hear what your favorites have been. What are some items you acquired this year that you totally thought you were going to love and then they kind of just flopped on you? Because that will be what my next video is about. Some of my stationery purchase flops of 2024. So thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.